And I feel like, well, so for you guys, I feel like you get a really fun, sneaky side advantage of being the second group, literally just because I have just coached a group. And so I have something I want to share with you guys before we get started that I think would be just like an eye-opening thing that I don't think I've ever shared before. And I think I'm going to do a presentation about this in April. So, one of the things that I think is really important is creating powerful positioning. And we are doing that with your marketing. We are helping the algorithm to become SEO oriented to send people to your business. So, first, check, doing that great. The second thing that I love to do is I like to position myself powerfully in rooms of people that could be ideal clients. One of the ways you can do that is through presentations. I realized this back in 2021 into 2022, and I knew that I wanted to get my business out there. And there are two things that I want to offer to you about um the way that you can pitch yourself for presentations. There, when you are thinking about getting presentations and getting other people to um, kind of pay attention to your work, one of the things that I would love for you to do is think about experience and ideal clients. The first thing is just getting experience, getting exposure. One of the things that I found is that when I started posting pictures of me doing presentations, not only did all of the people who are following me, they kind of started to notice. They were like, oh, you're getting these speaking engagements. Oh, you're doing this. And it kind of created this like, oh, she's like the real deal kind of a situation. So that was the first thing. Like, even if you're just doing it for experience and exposure, it's really, really great marketing for you and your people. The second reason, again, I'm definitely like, we want to play to your strengths. If you don't like doing presentations, you don't have to. But one of the things that I did is I also like thought about where, when I was thinking about doing career coaching, I thought, who would be a great fit for this are college students. So I want you to just to see, I know that you've seen that big list of people that I would message literally every time I had a webinar. I would personally message like 120 people and like three people would respond. Like I just want you to like have that frame of reference, like of the amount of outreach that I did and the amount of talking to people I did. That was like a lot of people. And it didn't take long. It took me like 2 days to get to everybody, but it was still something that I did all the time. And I want you guys to be doing that as well. The other thing that's like really cool is I was able to outsource it. And now I have Haley responding for me. So now she's my little clone. And I have one of my VAs, May, is messaging people, all of my new followers, a video of me just saying hi, the one I've sent you guys a million times before. And I also have then Haley's actually responding for me. She came to my webinar last night. She's amazing. And she's just responding for me for 30 minutes a day 4 times a week, and I only pay her. And she's gonna do more for me, but I only pay her $25 an hour. May I only pay $10 an hour. So there's like ways that you can. I know we talked about like outsourcing people and like what we can have them do, and I'm definitely gonna be doing when I learn how to like manage them better. I'm definitely gonna do a training about that. But one of the things that was really important for my outreach was doing the presentations, and I just pitched myself literally anywhere and everywhere that I could get people. So I thought about like who I could reach out to, and I reached out to all of these sororities. Every single one, even if they're not your ideal client, which for none of you they are, maybe. I was like maybe if you're thinking about general coaching, but it was just really good exposure. I put good into the world. I had one of the people who came to this one. One of the girls came back to me and she was like, there was a job that I knew was a stretch for me. And I knew that like it wasn't actually a job I could even like, I even thought I could qualify for. And I applied to it because of that presentation with you. And I got my dream job right out of school because of this like little 1 hour presentation I did. I'm like, how cool is that? Like, that's awesome. Another one that I did, the kid was like, or the kid, the adult student, the child at NC State. I did a presentation for their it was a career class, and I did this presentation for them. And he came up to me like really emotional, and he was like, I decided I'm not going to go to law school because of this. I've only wanted to go to law school because of my careers with my parents wanted me to do it. And I'm not going to do that because of you. So it's like it just puts good into the world. Nothing ever came, none of my clients ever came from that, but it was really good positioning. The marketing was huge. And because of that, my friends and clients were like, could you do a presentation for my corporation? Could you do, and one of my friends from NC State, she ended up, also, by the way, we're in the Sweet 16, which is thrilling. But within that, she had me do a presentation to this like women in television and communications. She had me like do this presentation for them in New York City, which was like so cool. And they ended up someone actually came from it. So within 2021, no, this was all in 2022. I did like 12 presentations, maybe more. I did some for NC State. I did these two for the sorority. And then I also just thought about like ways to get myself out there. And I just want to show you exactly how I did that. I found friends and I'd be like, "Hey, I'm friends with," I would talk with my friends online. It was just good that they were brand ambassadors for me. And I was like, oh my gosh, I saw you're in your master's. That's awesome. I actually just did a presentation for NC State. Do you guys have any um space for mental health? I would love to collaborate with you. And I said I'm like a career and life coach, and I did some presentations at NC State. I would love to like do one about setting schedules. And so I just thought about pitching them a presentation that I could do. And I will send this to you guys, of course. And I just pitched it to them. And then I like went to universities I wasn't a part of. And I was like, hi, just random people. And I was like, hey, I am a random life coach you've never heard of, but I'm doing these other presentations for other people. I would love to do this presentation for you. I just moved to Winston-Salem, RIP. That didn't work out, LOL. But it was like, I was like, but I would still reach out to them. I was literally like ready to fucking go. I reached out to every single person. I reached out to um the undergraduate student center. I reached out to the career center. I reached out to the mental health center. I reached out to the sororities. I reached out to people at Wake Forest. I reached out and this is like the way that I wrote it. People at Elon. I never went to Elon, but I was like, I can do this. Um, yeah, and I just like went ham. And I was like, let's just like, I was like, I was saying to my last group, have you guys seen Dreamgirls? And it's like, and you, and you, and you're gonna love me. Anyways, it's in the movie. If you haven't seen it, feel free to watch it later. And I just want to show you like how much work. I was literally just like, how can I talk to these random humans? Like, let me just find a way and I'll figure it out. So this is like how I found people. I like literally went to NC State University and I looked up all the sororities because I know they legally like they have to include like events. And I was like, you already have to do this. I could just be the event for you. So I did that for any of them. And you guys can totally start doing this too. You can reach out on HR, you can talk to corporations. And I just wanted to show you this like as an option for you. I just think it's easy to do. You guys are already doing webinars for the most part. And these are like like I messaged all these people. So it's like I had not the collaboration, but I'll show you. I called it outreach. I did a whole folder for it. And these were all random people I made connections with. And then I also, oh, that was like at the coaching posse. I was a part of Facebook groups. And you guys can start to do this too. You can post in my Facebook group, in the Six Figure Systems Facebook group, and be like, hey, I'm doing presentations. I would love to like do them one for you. Um, I yeah, I like just would write blurbs about myself, did the College of Education. I did two. I forgot about that. I did like three for the College of Education too. So really fun. Just a different way of thinking about things that I wanted to um alert you to. Now, in the past, I know I've included our notes in the stream and or in the actual coaching, so you can like refer back
Megan,
to it.
Megan, can I ask a question?
Oh yeah, of course.
So when you're doing these pitches, the intention is just to offer value ahead of time for free and just opening channels for people to potentially like connect with you based on, I'm assuming in all of them, you share your offer at the end and what you do, correct? Okay.
And have a QR code the whole way
Yeah.
through.
Okay.
Yeah, like I was just like, why? Literally, and unless they told me not to, and then no one actually told me not to. I did it for all of them, but I just want to show you guys that to be like to give you guys like hope, like for not hope. It's like not that there isn't hope, but the other thing I want to show you is that like I reached out to all these people, the head of Panhellenic, all these sororities. This is the date I added them, and the last date I followed up. And none of them responded to me. Only these two actually had me. Like, so just an idea for my webinars, I would message every fucking person on this list. And the crazy here, I'm sorry. I was like, I just need to go a little slower. On this list, I reached out to all of the humans, and I'm training my VA on how to use this. But all these people, and I think I might have crossed them out. I don't think I deleted them. I hope I didn't. Like anyone I did a consult with, this is the day I did the consult with them. Anyone who booked a consult and said no. Any of my past clients, anyone who was in my Facebook group, anyone who came to a webinar, I did. All of them were in here. And every time I did a webinar, I was like, hey, would love to work with you. Hey, tell me like, or I like, hey, definitely come to this. This is gonna be great. And they convert, which is like really fucking cool. Like Patty, Shelby, they converted. It was really awesome. So these are my thoughts for you. And the old Jess asked, where was I paid for them? Yes, rip to that. It was such a funny time. But oh, Jamie might be joining this round. I just messaged her about a consult, which is crazy. But my social media manager is just doing this in her head right now and just having natural, easygoing conversations. And what I do is I send, like, she did all of this. I have not talked with Michelle until today. So she sent the video. And then after she sent the follow up video, she like responded to her story because she just knew that she was a lead. And in Instagram, you can mark people as different things. And then it's like, look at this. Boom, boom. She is having this conversation for me. It's literally just having small talk. And then I invited her to the webinar and then I sent a video. So it's like the two of us are kind of like tag teaming, which is really fun. And it's just a way that I can keep in touch with people without having to, like, because I'm now coaching 23 hours a week and I get coached 4-ish hours a week. So limited time, outsourced my humans, and it's been really awesome. So these are my thoughts. I was paid for one of them, the one with the women in television and communications. And I said I would do it for $100. And my friend looked at me and was like, and she's like, you're gonna do it for 500. She was like, never ever do that again. And I was like, oh, sorry. It's like I'd do it for free. Like I'm just happy to be here. Literally, and the rest of them were all free. I did it for classes, I did it for professors. I did 2 for this career class. I did sororities, College of Ed, everybody. It's great. So these are my thoughts. Jess, I know you had your hand raised.
Okay. I'm gonna start with a win.
Wait, actually, I forgot one thing. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
I remember I told you guys that I was gonna add the weekly calls for the group. And I was like, we're gonna do this in April. We're actually going to start those April 10th. And I know I said I was gonna do it on Thursdays. But my Thursdays are super, super weird. It's like everyone's in like a half hour. So it's like 12:30, 1:30, like 9:30. Like those are when my clients are. And I could do it at 10:30. But I know that those times bother me personally when it's like to the half hour because then typically when people are booking like hour-long consults with you, they're looking for it like on the hour, and that's annoying. And then people can't book calls. So it's going to be at 9 a.m. on Wednesdays, starting April 10th. And I will send you guys links for that. It's going to be the same link every time, but it's just going to be a fun alumni call where not only can you get coached, but you like just an extra bonus hour. Everyone who gets through the modules is invited to the alumni round. It's just for the people who haven't gone through the modules yet and they're like, how I just don't know how to do the things. I don't want them to be on that call. But any alumni and all my one-on-one clients are coming too, which is gonna
Cool.
be really fun. So you guys are gonna get to meet them. And they don't have any masterminds at all, so it will be interesting, but it'll be fun. So that's it. I want to tell you about that, and I was just made a note for myself. April 10th. Tell people because that would be good. People to come. Amazing. Jess,
Okay.
give us your win.
So my win is that my new marketing person posted 3 days last week, 2 days last week. At any rate, there was somewhere between 6 and 9 posts made, which is substantially more than what has happened in recent weeks. And I'm very excited about that. It's nice to be able to look at them and kind of look at them from like what's working, what's not working, and not take it so personally. I think
Yes.
having somebody else post it, even if like, because I'm still looking at everything, she's writing a lot of it, and I'm tweaking it here and there, but I'm also found myself writing a lot more in the last couple of days just on my own because I think my energy is freed up for that, which is great.
Yes. And this is awesome. And literally, I'm going to now, I want to like Haley's doing a phenomenal, phenomenal job. My VA or my social media manager is not able to take on more clients, but I want to do a training. I'm going to talk with Jen, who runs the VAs that I have from the Philippines, who are incredible. And I want to talk with them about how to like use Chat GPT, and if they
Mm-hmm.
could just post for you, it's $10 an hour. And if they could post for you and at least get them scheduled until later, I think the most they would have to work for you would be like 6 hours a week, $60 to get like all of your posts done for the month.
Right.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking. Yeah.
Jess and Megan, can I ask Jess a question?
Yeah.
Yes.
So Jess, I too am struggling with posting, and Megan has also suggested working with VA. Your comment around looking at your posts from a different perspective, could you just expand a little bit more on that?
So I'm looking at them less personally, I guess is the best way to put it. Like it's still my my perspective and my words in some sense, but I'm not actually the one putting like the emotional energy behind writing the caption. And I think for me that took a little bit of like the self-critical element out of it.
Now,
Like
now go ahead, sorry.
I'm not looking at it like how many people like it and feeling like it's a
Mhm.
personal thing. I'm looking at like what was the reach? What was the engagement? Did I have somebody comment on it or did it fall flat? And so like I pulled up my Meta, that's where she's posting through for me. So I pulled it up and I looked at just the list of what had gone out in the last week and I see all the different engagement numbers and it put me in like an analytical place
Mhm.
versus a judgment place. And
Mhm.
it was new because every time I've gone to my page after I've posted something that I've written personally, I get very emotionally attached to what the response is going to be. And if I don't get a response, I have to do some work because I make it mean something.
Mhm.
And so I just found like, I don't, if it falls a little flat, it just gives me information. And so
Mhm.
I guess that's where the shift is happening for me now. I do have some things I want her to tweak because there's a couple things that like don't feel very authentic. And so I'm also looking at it from that angle. And that was probably my biggest concern with outsourcing it. But so far, the benefits are far outweighing the drawbacks. Like the mental like space that has freed up because I'm not so stuck in that what do I post mindset is it's more like I had a conversation with them. We've identified how to connect content to the pillars. They understand what I'm trying to achieve. We have particular calls of action. She creates, puts it into, we're using Notion. She puts it into Notion. I go in and they all just show that they need my review. And I go in and I can tweak the captions if I want. Like one, I changed the whole first bullet point on a caption because to me it didn't land. And so then I just leave her a note that it needs to be edited or that it's good to go. And then she gets them scheduled. So the amount of time it's taken me to just like go in and check them is minimal. And it's still a work in progress, but I think if you're having the same kind of struggle, this could help you just get out of it.
And
That's
get
really,
something
really
on
helpful.
there and just get something.
Yeah. That's really powerful. Thank you so much, Jess.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm glad.
Would you mind sharing us where you found your VA?
I just put a post out on Facebook in some of the local Facebook groups that I belong to here in St. Pete. And then if somebody else had put a post out there that she was looking for, or wait, maybe it was from my post, but at any rate, it was just on Facebook. I belong to an entrepreneur group here, and then there's a group called I Love St. Pete, and people just post about all different types of stuff in there. And then I ended up bringing on the two people that I met with from that just for different things. I have one that's local that can kind of like come to my house and work with me in person, and the other one just she's still local, but we do everything virtually. So I have one that's working for $20 an hour and one that's working for 25. And I'm having them do slightly different things. Like one of them's really good at graphics. But yeah, I mean, I've so far it's freed up just so much creative space for me that it's well worth the expense. And I feel myself in more of a CEO mindset because I'm running a team, and that's professionally what I'm used to. Like I've run teams for the last 15 years. Like, so for me, working solo was much more uncomfortable and harder to manage because I was the only one doing the work. I think it's much more productive for me to delegate things. So I have felt a significant shift in my just like business mindset in general by bringing them on. I felt it as soon as I asked them to work for me and they hadn't even done anything yet. Like, yeah.
Jess, I have another question. I'm sorry, guys, if I'm
No.
hogging.
No, this is so helpful.
So how many hours a week do they work for you and how many posts are you getting per week?
So I'm still trying to figure out exactly how it's breaking down, but what it's looking like is about 5 hours a week to produce at least a full week of content, doing 3 stories, 3 reels, 3 static posts, or like carousel static at like 9 posts for the whole week. I think she created a little bit more than that in 5 hours, and that's doing the graphics and the captions, and then scheduling them to post. And then the other girl I have working on like setting up my email and my sales funnels and all of that. And working a little bit more on strategy. So between the two of them, they're doing like somewhere in the ballpark of 5 to 10 hours a week.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And just so you know, May is doing 6.5 hours a week, 6.25 hours a week. Oh, she's in it right now. Funny enough. And I broke it down for her. So I was like, 30 minutes a day, DM current followers, a video with how to contact me. And I'll show you the video. And I can send this to you guys too. Yeah. I just go to any follower, click on there, and then I check to see if you can't fast forward with these, but it was like I wanted to see if we'd had any prior messages. I would go in, I would find the video of me just saying hi. And then you go back into the messages, and these are the labels I have for them. So that was something that I wanted to do for outreach. If you guys are thinking about doing outreach, and then you can tag them, you can flag them like that. And then I put down here, these are all how I label them: flag, booked, lead, ordered, paid, shipped. And then like these are the things I'm having her do. For your posting, you could be like, take 30 minutes to write this, take 30 minutes to do that. That's what I would do. And be like, I want you to get 3 posts and 3 reels done in 3 hours.
Yeah.
And you could break it up like that too. The other thing is like Jen, so I've listed both of them, and I'm gonna teach. I want to do a training for Jen's people to show them how we do social media, because it's like a less expensive one, and I think could be really helpful to just train all of them on like the way that we use social media and the systems we have, and
Yeah.
using hopefully chat to like make it happen. Haley is the one that came from um and I know that you need some coaching, Jess, and I promise I will get it to you. But with Haley, this is her like to do. And I'm like, you won't have to do this. This is what May's doing, the welcome. And then I like just taught her how to do small talk. Be like, eventually they might want the testimonial template, find out what they have to offer, put the business in the spreadsheet and sign up for the webinar and find out their money goals. So
Oh,
this
that's awesome. Okay.
like how I'm teaching her to do nurturing for me for her responsibilities. And she works for me. It was 20 hours or is $200 divided by 25. So it's like even less a week. But still pretty, like, I mean, like, so you can do a lot with like very little. If you, and so I put in the chat here the people who are English speaking, but they're in the Philippines. So English is their first language technically, but it's just not American English. So as I put like a American English here, Jen is their contact, and this is her email. She doesn't have a website or anything like that. She just works with a couple of my friends. These are $8 to $10 an hour. Then for I knew that I wanted Haley to like know how to have conversational American English. So that is where I went to Sarah Wiles, and I'm actually adding more hours for Haley. So she's going to be responding to my Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and email all for me, which is insanely helpful. And what you do for her is you fill out this form, and you say, are you filling out this form on your behalf? Tell me about your business. How long have you been in business? I swear this took me like 5 minutes. Um, who are you looking for? Virtual assistant was what I would recommend for you guys. Online business manager, those typically they're paid a lot more. They're paid a salary position. That is more like you are kind of like managing your online business, but they have podcast managers, they've got social media managers. I don't know how much the social media managers, but lead generation and or social media engagement, they have people who specialize in it. She was not. I clicked, I think like, yeah, I think I clicked both of these. Describe what you're looking for, what tasks and responsibilities, 3 non-negotiables, nice to haves, and then how many hours are you looking for? So I said 8 hours a month, hourly budget, flexibility in your budget, or is it top priority? And I said, is there anyone in your network that you don't want to be paired with? I said, not yet. How'd you hear about us? Olivia referred us, and then anything else you want to know. So I did that pretty quickly, and they will give you from that, they send you 5 people in their resumes. Like, so they pair you automatically. You get 5 people, and then you have to interview them. That was one of the best things I've ever done for my business, because you are going to learn that they are not taught how to do consults. They have no idea. Like, so just be prepared for them not knowing that. You just kind of have to read the way that, like, how they're having conversations. And I had questions ready for them. I was like, here are the things I'm going to need you to do. Are you able to do this? What's your experience? Like, and I can send you those questions too. but you're essentially going to have to run the consult for them, which was kind of funky. But you learn. You're like, it gets better. So these are my thoughts. I hope that helped everybody. I'm sure it did. I'm sure that was like extremely helpful. And there are many other scheduling things. Tess just got me on later, and it'll post for you. It just won't post the reel for you. So it posts the graphic, just won't post the reel. If you have audio on it. Okay, amazing. So that's all here. Jess, what would you like coaching on?
Okay, so what you were talking about earlier is what I've been thinking about trying to do is create some type of talk to offer to places, exactly, I mean, exactly like you were talking about exposure, but I loved the idea of just doing it to put good in the world. I think that that's a big driver for me in general, so that just gave me a little bit of a fresh perspective on like what I need to choose for topic and stuff like that. But I think I I'm struggling with like how to add that in to the other things that I'm doing and just slow myself down maybe a little bit. Like I just got this help and that hasn't even gotten any traction yet. So do I just need to focus? I guess my concern is that St. Pete in particular is an amazing market for health and wellness. It is Florida. People want to be out in the sunshine and they just St. Pete in particular is kind of a health and wellness mecca. It's becoming like there's, all these alternative types of lifestyles and different things. And I'm getting ready to move to New Hampshire where that's not exactly the case. And so I'm in my mind, I'm like, I need to capitalize on being in an area like this as much as I can before I leave. Um, Also, I would like to be generating as much money as I can before we leave because that might make the difference between me being able to keep my house here or having to sell it. So there's a lot of different reasons behind, of course, wanting to add just one more thing to my plate. But I am tired. I mean, like, when I tell you tired, I mean, like, and I wrote this down this morning. I don't know if it's anything I'll ever post or use or whatever, but it was like, when you're so exhausted and you don't really know how exhausted you look, and then someone tells you, wow, you look really tired, and you're like, just fuck off. Like, I know that I look like this. Thanks.
I
I
love
am that level of tired. And Matt is officially like not going to be here at all for the next 3 months ish. And so there is no reprieve. There's no break. There's no day off. The downtime is like, I mean, I did my workout while I was cooking dinner last night in the kitchen because it's the only time I could fit it in. Like, I don't want to pile more on myself, but I just like I also don't want to pass on an opportunity just because I have a lot going on.
Okay. Got 3 thoughts for you.
Okay.
2 thoughts particularly. The first thing is, I think that something that's like really, really powerful, and I shit you not, I did this when I was teaching and coaching and in certification and still nannying sometimes. I felt like a fair amount going on within my week and in my day. And I had this thought that I was tired and it kind of permeated.
Mm-hmm.
And there are 2 interesting things. Hunger can be an emotion and a sensation. Same with exhaustion. Exhaustion
Mm-hmm.
can be an emotion and an actual physical sensation. I think what I realized is that because I knew I still had like, this is like, just so you know, I'd always taught first grade. and it was craziness in the pandemic. And halfway through the school year, they said, we need another teacher to teach kindergarten virtually. And I had to leave teaching first grade and go to teach a completely new curriculum with a completely new group of kids, with a completely new group of teammates. And I had no, like, it was a very interesting time. And so I was feeling things like tired. And I realized that I wasn't going to get to, and I was also doing long distance with my boyfriend at the time. So it's like, it was just like an adventure. And I realized that like things weren't, I wasn't going to get less on my plate anytime soon. I think that's what I'm hearing from you. I
Yeah.
wasn't like, there is no point until June that you're going to get less on your plate,
Mhm.
correct?
Yeah.
Unless you choose to take it off your plate. But like
Right.
so far, it's like these are things that we want to do. So I realized that telling myself that I was tired all the time didn't actually help me get things done, especially because the things weren't going to change. It's like me telling myself I was tired about the circumstance. So I had this blue post-it note, I kid you not, on my computer at school. And because I would wake up, the thing that really shook me is I would wake up every morning and I was exhausted. And I would
Mhm.
tell myself, I'm so tired. And I was like, wait a second, I just got some sleep. So like maybe this isn't a feeling, this is a thought. Like this is like maybe something I'm telling myself. So I had this post-it note that said, "You're not tired, you're awesome." I'm not kidding, guys. I'm not kidding, but it really helped me. And it was literally just like looked at every day. It's like, "You're not tired, you're awesome." You can like it, and it just like that stupid post-it note took me through 6 months of crazy, and I was able to get through that. So I want to offer that thought to everybody. You're not tired, you're awesome, because it helps. It really does. It helps. Like, it really was like, and I was like, you're right, I'm awesome. I was like, I gotta do this. I was like, I can get this post out. We can do this. Like, instead of me telling myself, like, this is really hard, like, just telling yourself a better story,
Yeah.
a better sentence, it's not going to telling yourself you're tired won't motivate you. And if the things are changing, um, and we should probably like it, then we can like work around the circumstances and be like, you're not tired, you're awesome. Literally, like that's what I did. The other thing I wanted to think about is this idea of the opportunity. So first off, how does that land?
Yeah. I just wrote it on a post-it note.
It's awesome. It's like I think it's gonna be better. It's like if anything, like if we can't change the seas, we got to have better teas,
Yeah.
circumstances to have better thoughts.
Yeah.
In the opportunity, this is coming from like a smidge of scarcity.
Yeah.
Like what is your thought about this? Like, well, if I pass on these opportunities, I will never like fill in the blank for me in the most dramatic way possible. It's like, let's just like go there. It's like there is nothing in New Hampshire.
I will never ever possibly make this work ever.
Mhm.
Unless I
Like,
take every opportunity that passes in front of me.
yeah. I
Obviously.
have to take obviously every possible opportunity. And I know it's like now it's like seeing that like it is funny, but like I know that it does feel like that. And it's almost like the universe has given like the thought that I had. I was like, the universe has given me this wonderful opportunity and I've squandered it. I was like,
Yeah.
that was like how dramatic, Brian, squandered. That was like my
Yeah.
favorite part. I was like, yeah. And so what I realized, like, so it's like I had a ton of connections in Raleigh. And then when I moved to Winston-Salem, it was a way, way smaller city. Like super, super small. You can literally probably walk the whole city in like 20 minutes max.
That's
And
great.
yeah, so it was in Raleigh is like fucking huge. And so I was like, well, I'm gonna get as connected as possible as I can here. And I don't have any friends here, so might as well make some friends and join some networking groups. I
Mhm.
experienced like really funky things, and that also helped because I was like, I need friends here. And so I found networking groups, I found other groups. I had done the presentations at NC State, but I like reached out to like Wake Forest University's actually in Winston-Salem. So I like reached out to people that were like local to me. And I made it work. So this thought I'm will never possibly make this work ever if I don't take this opportunity it's like I'm always going to figure out a way
Yeah.
to make this work. Even if it's super small and it's cold and no one goes outside, I'm pretty sure there are people in New Hampshire that like probably want to develop health and wellness. And maybe get to become you get to lead the charge. Whereas now you're in a maybe a saturated market, so then you could stand out even better there.
Yeah, it's definitely a saturated market here for that. I mean, every other person is a coach of some kind, and most of them are, doing something health and wellness related, I found.
And then there are awesome relationships that we can like keep in mind. And we can always be like, oh my God, I used to live in St. Pete. And you can reach back out to them when you have more time and support.
Right.
There's going to be an opportunity for a connection there, I promise.
Yeah.
Um, oh,
Yeah.
but one of the thoughts that I have is I think I'm a really good fit for a lot of life coaches. And there are no, other than a certification, there aren't any life coaching groups in Raleigh. Like there isn't like coaches of Raleigh. And I was like,
Yeah.
wait a second. I was like, instead of being like, this is like, oh my gosh, I heard someone say, in my other group, she was like, it's a wasteland or something like that. It was like such a like unhelpful thought. I was
Right.
like, what if we create the Mecca for these people?
Yeah.
I want to create like, what if I start doing like in-person stuff for coaches in Raleigh and I like become known in that way? And like that's,
Yeah.
it's like
Well, part of the thing that I want to do by having like property and stuff like that up there is create a a retreat space and have, something like that where people can reconnect with nature because quite frankly, I mean, I grew up in Florida. I've lived in outside of San Francisco. I've always lived near city-ish places, um, or the beach. And like when you have never really experienced nature and then you do, you find yourself like craving it so much. And I feel like a lot of people just kind of shut themselves off to that if they don't have access to it. So I feel like finding ways for women in particular to reconnect with nature, I think is really important for our nervous system and for our hormonal health and like just all of it. Um, so that's a down the road
this.
little brainchild.
And so like I just want you to feel like there is nothing that like with oh that looks cool. Um, but like you adding more things to your plate, what we can call this is Stacy has this thing called the nightstand. And she's like, this is the keynote presentation is an awesome idea that we want to put on the nightstand. And this
Oh,
is
I call it the
actually
parking lot.
the parking lot. Yep. So we're going
Hmm.
to put the idea of the presentations in the parking lot.
Yep.
And the cool thing about this is it's actually scientifically backed because your reticular activating system, which is like a part of your brain that's working for you subconsciously, I didn't spell it right, activating system, actually goes to work to think about that future vision while you're sleeping, while you're doing monotonous
Mm.
things. And if you ever get really, really good ideas when you're like in the shower and things like that, those are because your reticular activating system has gone to work solving this problem for you, and it will be solved by the time that you get to New Hampshire with different circumstances.
That's super interesting.
Right?
Um, that's really just I haven't heard of I mean like I understand the concept, but I haven't heard the term reticular activating system. And it's interesting because I've been ruminating on a book for years and a title just came to me recently that while I was in the shower and that's what made me think of
What
it.
was it? What was this? I was like, we gotta know.
40 and medicated.
Oh my God, I love it.
Basically, like what the fuck happened?
But it's like literally, it's like these are like our brainchilds that we can go to work, but you can put them in a parking lot. And I want you to trust that the problem is going to be solved. It's going when it's supposed to. And if it's a
Yeah.
problem that you're not supposed to solve in this lifetime, then it won't be solved. And that's okay
Yeah.
too. But this is like awesome. I
Yeah.
love this. I
Okay.
actually think I might have my grandmother ghostwrite a book for me for for this program. We're trying to get her to write her autobiography. So
That's amazing. My
86 years young.
That's amazing. My friend is ghostwriting a book for her boss right now, and I've sent her like a handful of things that I've just written off the cuff. I get these really weird, well, they're weird for me because writing has never been something I would consider a strong suit for me, although I'm a very good communicator. Um, and I have been over the last, I don't know, 2 years, I will get these like random bursts where I just like have to get something out of my brain and I write it and it's like a little raw and personal. And I've sent her a few things and um she's like, I really want to keep reading what you have to say. So I haven't asked her yet, but at some point I'm gonna ask her to do that for me because I'm just starting to put together a bunch of different thoughts right now.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's like
Very cool.
I like and again, like it's already in process and just trusting that it's going to work out when it's supposed to is the biggest thing I want to leave you with. And
Yeah.
it's gonna happen what's supposed to happen. There's a thought I had. Oh, I was just thinking about all of us. What if we like literally like think about where we're gonna be 10 years from now? Like the 2034 reunion of this crew, like books, keynote speaking, like all these crazy things. Like
Yeah.
I could just see, I just had a vision when you were talking, and I was like, oh my God, like this is gonna be awesome. Like, and it is awesome, but it's like, you know, when you get excited about a trip before the trip happens,
Yeah.
and it's like that's the kind of like joyful anticipation I just felt. And I'm like, this is like
Oh,
so
what a good way
awesome,
to describe it. That's such a
you
good way to
know?
describe it. Yeah. I love that so much. I have those moments too where I'm like, I get a glimpse of like what I think I'm working towards. And it's very yeah. It's almost like an out of body kind of experience. Like you just kind of envision something and like you put yourself in the energy of that moment. For me, it was being on a stage, giving a speech or a talk somewhere, which is not something I've ever craved, by the way. I have terrible stage fright. I get hives. Like it's fucking awful.
You're like, this is perfect.
I sweat so much, like to the point where the only color I will wear
Black.
is black.
Yeah. Me too.
It, it's horrendous. But this like I had this happen maybe 8 months ago where it was either a dream and I don't remember my dreams very often, or it was like a shower moment or something and I saw myself on stage and it was like a full body feeling and I was like, holy shit, apparently that's gonna happen.
Right? It's like, oh my God. And I just want us to like really, really dream big and think too that 2034 version of yourself. Like let's just like take a minute for all of us and like let's just like think about like that future version of us. I want, if you feel comfortable, like please share eventually. Like I would love to hear about all of your future selves. But I want you to know that like if you can see that future version of yourself, it's because they're within you already. Like it's happening. And I like to ask my future self, like every day, what did she think, feel, and do? Like those are the go-tos. And I'm just like, just really excited. I'm excited for all of us. I think we're doing some really great stuff, making
Yeah.
positive in the world. And I'm just so excited to be a part of this. So yes, take some freaking time. Tell yourself better stories. Let that reticular activating system go to work
Yes.
and trust that like I don't think that you're going to New Hampshire and I don't think it's a mistake.
Yeah.
So you're not tired, you're awesome. And you're gonna make all these opportunities work for you. And
Go on my
Teresia.
computer.
Yes. What is your thought?
Um, I have a question
Yes.
actually. So a question and a comment. One, my comment is New England is really small, and New Hampshire is around the corner. Boston is a legit space that's
Okay.
accessible, and many people in Boston have homes in New England, like even small cabins. The full spectrum of people. This is just not a wealthy people thing. So I
Yeah.
think the interaction between just Boston, Vermont, and New Hampshire and Maine is real. And people go back and forth and spend weekends there, and like people have been doing it through their lifetime. I've just had a plumber who did something for me and has had his family has owned a cabin out there. He's like, it's a shithole of a place, but
Some of the
I grew
land.
up there. I want my kids to experience it. My siblings and I fight over time going there. And so I think it's more integrated than you think.
Okay.
And I think literally I just don't see any of the needs that you're saying you may miss out there even being a thing at all.
Okay.
Just putting that out there. And I've been in Boston for 20 years. But my question for you, Megan,
Yes.
in addition to just thank you so much for sharing, Jess. It really is a conversation I wish I needed to have, and I didn't even know I needed to have to hear it. But Megan, when does the thought, you're not tired, you're awesome, become you gaslighting yourself?
Oh, such a good question. I feel like at times it was, if I'm going to be honest. I feel like there were times when I was like genuinely tired and I was lying to myself 100%. I was like, you're awesome. Fuck, keep going. And it was, but at the same time, I felt
Mhm.
like there were, so I think the question, a good question to ask yourself at that point is I do think that it was motivational, inspirational because it created the aspirational desires I wanted. I will say that with like times to take a break, when do you need to take a break? When it comes to that, I think that you can take a break anytime you want and still know that even taking a break is going to be an opportunity that works for you. So if you really
Mhm.
are feeling burnt out and really, really tired, I want you to know that you can always take breaks and things like that and really find positive ways to serve your body to actually like take rest and get what you need. The thing that like so for instance, I also after I went through a breakup, as you guys all know, my life story. But when I went through that breakup, I did take this is back in 2022. And I was actually thinking about like even quitting my business. I did take a full month off of social media just because I was really like not in a good place. I also took a break off of social media in 2021 and I took like a whole month. And that was a trauma response for both of them, I think. And I think then I trusted that like the business is going to work out even if I took a break. And I still allowed that for myself. I was advised against it. I was told that it would be harder to come back if I did take that break. And I agree, it was for sure. And I also do think that Anise, you joined at a good point. We're talking about burnout and things like that. And I do think that there's an element of self-trust and trust in the mission that you have. And I think for me, I was like, if I take a break, I did trust myself to come back to it if this was what I was supposed to do. And I did. And it was hard. It was hard to come back to like posting again, getting back in the swing of things, but I knew that it was part of the bigger picture. So I went for that. Telling myself, but however, I will say, even though I totally was gaslighting myself and I was so tired and I was just telling myself, you're not tired, you're awesome, it did feel so much better than saying I'm inexplicably exhausted. Those are the words I'm like, I am exhausted. I can't go on. I did find that telling myself, you're not tired, you're awesome, it did feel better. It did feel better. Even though I knew I was lying to myself a little bit, there, like when I was running my marathon, I had this thought, like, I love running. And then that became sarcastic and unhelpful. And so that's not what I'm saying here. It was more so like, instead of lying to myself, I felt like I was trying to motivate myself, which is, I think, the difference. But really, does that like, does that make
Yeah,
sense?
like it does, but I'm going to play it back and just see if I've my mind is sort of capturing it the way you intended. So it's to me, it sounds like the way I'm hearing it is that it's really a balance between you being really honest and knowing your needs, right? But in a difficult period, figuring out, so really being careful about what you're asking yourself to do, right?
Yeah.
But in a difficult period, it's also about figuring out ways to encourage yourself during the periods that you are choosing to execute your tasks, for example, which is where that thought then becomes a great thought versus one that's gaslighting.
Yeah. That's
okay.
For my tangent, that was like really beautiful, beautifully summarized. So like I just kind of kept going. I was like, I think this is gonna work out some way. And I'm like, yep,
No.
that's exactly what I meant.
All right, I got you. I thank you. That makes sense.
I thank you for articulating that in a way that I like couldn't. I was like, that was so good. I'm trying to figure out a way to make this like stand out more, but I'm like, this is so I like this like red writing. I feel like with like the black, I was like, I don't know. I was like, I think this looks really pretty. It's like I'm messing around with colors now. I need to pay attention to Sharon, who would like some coaching. But I'm like, thank you. I'm like, I think that that's a really good question, and those are definitely the answers. And I'm gonna stop playing around with colors. And Sharon, would you like to share a win for yourself today, and then we'll get coaching.
So my win would be I posted on Instagram.
What? Did you put it in the group?
I don't know if I know how to do that. So
we don't have you in the group. Oh my gosh, we need to get you in the group. We've got a group. I don't think that we're really using it, but if you want to, you can post. We've got like a group of all us that I think we've used like once. But I'm so excited. I'm gonna go and post on it right now. And we all need to be friends with you. It was look at you, blooming bravely. Ah, we're so proud. Excellent news. Okay, so I'm frantically posting on here. Also, if you post, if you comment on someone else's post, use 3 words.
Okay.
So, okay, sorry. Love this win. And tell me what you want some coaching on.
Okay, so I have a kind of a technical, well, not really technical, but I have a marketing question, and then I have some what I need coaching on. So I had a question in regards to marketing. What is the idea behind every week you change, like you change your pillar of what you're focusing on? So like, for example, mine's like time management this week, next week, stress management. What's the thought? I'm just trying to understand the business thought behind changing that every week.
Excellent question. So the goal is that we want to get the algorithm to know that you are the person for your pillars.
Okay. So for those, okay, go ahead.
So the way the algorithm works is it gets to know people's preferences and their needs, desires, and things that actually feel negative a lot of the time. Like the algorithm knows about it and will feed you content. So let's say like you want to lose weight or something like that, you'll start to get dieting, exercise, like all those things will start to come to you based on things that you have liked, based on things that you watch time, things like that are how social media kind of gathers that like this is something that this person is interested in. And then it creates content that is a good fit for you. One of the things I was talking about with like actually my little brother is I think that Instagram's algorithm is one of the best because I'll go into Facebook's algorithm like the reels that Facebook like recommends for me and it's just like the Wild West. And he was like, I love it because it's just the most random strange things out there. And I'm like, it's just not as tied in, even though they're both under the umbrella of Meta. So one of the things that we want to do is we want to get you talking about the concerns and like the concerns slash pain points or goals and aspirations of your ideal client. Within your marketing for social media, my thought process was that you just want to use keywords like time management, productivity, efficiency, those kind of words in your copy as much as possible. And you want to have that so that people can identify that this is like all of us create businesses because we are filling a need. So it's like just really getting clear on what need you're filling and why people will pay thousands of dollars for it, which is important. So that's the first piece. The reason why I changed the pillars weekly is within it, you could do it. You could also do it for a month. I know that you mentioned like it's your first month on social media. You want to take like just do a pillar at a time. I also think that's fantastic. My goal was that like if we've got 52 weeks in the year, if I have 4 pillars, that gives me 13 weeks per pillar. So I'll have 13 instances for people to um see what I'm talking about. However, if you do 12, which is 12, so that I said weekly, it would be 13 times that they will get the same topic. However, if you do it every month, you would get around 3 months per pillar, and there are about 4 weeks in every month. So you just get like 12 weeks per pillar. So it's like 12 versus 13 weeks. It really doesn't matter that much. I would much prefer that you're just getting content out there and like learning how to make content. And if talking about one topic makes it easier for you, let's do that. That's the first. That's what I thought. Any questions?
I think either way is good. I was trying to understand I wasn't clear on the rationalization behind it. So that's clarification there. Something that came up for me too on this was like, I kind of wonder if, and I was going back to look at my ICA because I kind of wondered if my ICA was actually on Instagram, because my ICA has similar things that I do, and I wasn't on any of this stuff because honestly, I was working so much and didn't have the time. So I found that was just something that kind of stuck with me too. So
Yep.
yeah.
Well, so but you had LinkedIn.
No, I didn't. I canceled that too.
I was like, and I could totally see that. And like for me, I was never on social media. Like I didn't find my coaches through social media. It was all word of mouth and networking.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm used to as well too. So,
But I will tell you that I followed Stacey Bayman for an entire year before I even bought 2K. And I followed her and I listened to the podcast and I consumed her content, never bought for an entire year. But if I had just like heard about her and she didn't put out a podcast every month, if she didn't post on social, I would not have worked with her.
right. Yeah, and mine with introducing to her was through actually my financial coach. And then what was interesting is then you were on a coaching call with in her program, and then I saw you, and then I researched your. So again, it's that same type of thing. So what I was going to look at coaching on is in regards to making sure I'm utilizing I would say I want to focus my time and make sure that I'm not on the pillars of managing leads, marketing, sales, planning. The reason why I look at this is because I think sometimes as I get into I don't mind creating the content, I don't mind writing and all that, but I can get pulled into that where I'm not doing some of the other items as well. And I have lunches all week this week. I have events that I'm going to, all that kind of stuff. But I'm trying to plan more of a schedule so I don't look like, hey, you're not doing enough, or maybe you're doing too much at the end. At the end of the day, you kind of feel like, okay, I felt like you've achieved something.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. I just want I was like, I see it, Anissa an idea, but that thought I've achieved something. I want you to know that like you can have that feeling even if you sit on your couch all day and do nothing.
True.
It's like I want you to, because you've achieved re-energizing yourself. If achievement is something that you're seeking outside of yourself and looking for your calendar to prove that you've achieved enough, then you're just going to make yourself really busy. And I want you to do things, and I definitely want you to do like revenue, return on investment activities. And I also want you to, oh, I lost your face. Can you still hear me?
I can still hear you. I'll come back.
Yes. And I think that like, so one of the things that I think is important is making sure you get those like ROI activities in, which is, I would say, marketing 3 times. It's like 3 I like to do 3 posts, 3 reels, managing leads, talk to 10 people a day, and then planning and evaluating. And for you to know that you've achieved the quote unquote right things or the things that give you the most return on your investment, one of the things I
Right.
would love for you to do is with your planning piece of things, I would love for you to start tracking your network. Everybody has this, but taking a look at how many people you've networked with every week. Have you had a chance to use this?
Yes. And I
Yeah.
have yours and I had mine that I originally created. So they're kind of combined.
Yes. So I want you to like keep track of this. And then how we know that you've achieved the things that are going to give you the most return on investment, that's how we'll know. Like we'll be like, okay, so posting, like I need to change something up here. But the tricky thing is you 90 days of consistent action is what it takes for you to see the result. So talking to 50 people a week, doing 3 posts and 3 reels, you won't get accurate data if you do it for a week.
Yeah. So for clarification on talking to 10 people a week, one, I would imagine those are 10 new people a week. And then since my social network is still growing, um, I know I reach out to different people uh, through like text and email and the social events that I go to as well. It's just I'm trying to see how I can do that within the realm of where my business is right now.
And what I would do is I would like, would you say that you've got like more than 20 people on your nurturing spreadsheet? Like on this one, do you think you've got around like 20? How many people are on this one?
Um, I would say at least 20, yeah.
Okay. So I would just reach out to them, check in with them, and when you nurture them, whether it's their email, whether it's on social, be like, hey, like, how have things been going? It's been a hot minute and start small talk from there.
Mhm.
How have things been going? I know it's the end of the first quarter and things can get crazy. Okay. For the outreach, I know that you have now done your first webinar, which is very exciting. And I would love for you to take like, find like this is where we're going to find like books that you have. We're going to find um groups. Go back to, and I can put this in here, like the nurturing module
Mhm.
and check out this is like one of the things that I talked about in here. These are the 4 places, like common interest groups, education, certification, and local. Like, what is something that you like to do? What's a common interest you have?
Well, I do like to read different books.
Yeah, you literally just posted a bunch. I'm like,
Yeah.
does Dr. Edith have an Instagram? Maybe.
Oh,
Let's look. I was like, she probably has somebody. Oh my God, look what she does.
yeah.
Look at this. What an incredible human. So you could literally go onto here, go and talk to, I know,
Yeah.
Brian, any of these humans, talk to 10 of them a day and be
Okay.
like, I'm so excited to, like, I was just talking about this book and I was like, I didn't realize that I just joined Instagram and I just found out that Edith has an Instagram and I'm delighted. I was like, I am trying to meet some new people online. I've never done this Instagram thing and I wanted to see it. It's like, I know you followed her. Did you read her last book?
Okay.
It's so cool, right? Okay, so I'm literally gonna put her sweet Dr. Edith. What a cool human. What about are there any groups that you're a part of?
Yeah. So I have like it's I've been to the group several times, but it's professional communicators group. And so I've been several times, and I have a coffee date with one of the guys that spoke at the last presentation to ask them about what upcoming presentation opportunities and what they need, and also just to get to know him better. So I'm part of that group too. It's Wichita Professional Communicators, which is just local.
But they might have an Instagram.
Yeah, I know he runs the library, so they have all that stuff.
Oh my God. Okay, so see,
he does media for the library.
Okay.
So that's what I'm having coffee with on Thursday.
Okay. This is the second thing I want to tell you. I want you to do outreach to like 10 new people at least a week here. But another thing that's like another piece of it, and I still feel like it's definitely outreach, but it's more like just like another new thing is like pitching. So this is another way that you could, with this Facebook group, I actually would love for you when you meet with this guy and talk with them, I would love for you to talk about like doing collaborations, presentations, and I think presentations would be great. Collaborations would be like, I think I've sent that to you guys, like the blank collaboration. This one, where it was literally where I would just go on with other people on Instagram. And you can still do lives, by the way. You can still go on Instagram and do an Instagram live. That's what I would do here. I would talk with them about doing a collaboration.
Yeah, and I'm doing that with the SCORE, which is the entrepreneur group as well too. I'd had that lunch breakfast too. So I'm looking at those presentations. I know we would be different groups, but what did you find in the group presentations that you gave? What did you find the part of your presentation that people connected with most that maybe surprised you? Because like you said, you had somebody come up afterwards and say, I'm not going to go to law school now because I was doing it for my parents and not for myself.
I think it did include a element of application where they could apply to their lives. And I do think that that was really helpful for them to actually think about, like, they had like a takeaway. I was just talking with another one of my clients in the other mastermind. You definitely should take a look at it. She's going to do a curate your closet or something like that. It's like start your snowballing spring cleaning, and she's gonna do a active workshop where like you're gonna like learn how to organize like something, and she's gonna give you like 15 minutes on the webinar to like go to your closet and actually do it on the call and come back. So it gives you a quick win. It's fun, it's interactive. Those are some really cool things. I think that recently, so I would say that like having some sort of interaction has been really great. I also think that having a good, useful tool that can be implemented very quickly is also really helpful. I think for the one that I signed, I didn't actually do application time for the women in technology women in television and communications. I didn't have application time, but I think the reason why she booked with me, she was like, "Ooh, I need this tool to be explained a little bit more. I want more of this." And that's one of the things. And
what is the application when you say application?
yeah,
like I know, like I've given presentations and I always have somebody like I have a handout or a takeaway.
Yes. So I would say useful tool / concept. I will give you examples of each of these because you've seen all of them, which is so cool. The example of the application that I did would be in the decision-making one. That was the one where he decided he didn't go to law school. Same with the long-term plan. This is the one. So for this one, I actually had them like go in and think about the reasons why and why not.
Yes.
So that was the actual application time. I think he like actually did it and was like, oh my God, I'm not going to go to law school.
I think you had a download with that one, but I'm wondering if the download on that one worked because there was one of them that a couple of the downloads didn't work. Okay, maybe that one did. Okay.
Thank you for like, please, if you see that, please like.
I will. I'll let you know, because I know when I was watching a while back before we started, I remember there was a couple of them that didn't work, and I was gonna.
Oh no! I was like, yeah, please let me know. The long-term plan was one, or this one was a, this was one that I did for like multiple women's group. This one was my most popular. Oh, that looks chaotic. Awesome. Need to fix that. But this is one that I actually had them do in person and online. So this is like another interactive example. This one was my top one that I did in most places. So this would be decisions. And then this one is an example of long-term plan. Then for the useful tools, this is the take back your time. Not this one. I don't even think I had, oh, it was the annual plan one. This is one that the person signed up. So the application ones were just seen as useful. This is one that someone actually signed up from.
Okay.
And it was like someone signed for these ones. It was just that people gave good feedback. And then now I think that it's like I would say like the version that I do now is like I just can articulate, like it's like I don't know how, it's like the problem and solution so well. Articulation. And present myself as like present myself as the solution. Solution. I think that has been what people have signed up from now for just the straight value ones. And I said that last night at the Chaos to Cash Flow one. You guys can go back and watch that. But like I had 2 people book a consult from that. And it's the first time that's happened, which is really cool. So
this is good. I've been reaching out on LinkedIn and connecting with different people, either that I know or that I don't know as well too. So I have a tendency, the reason I was trying to align this a list also is because I have a tendency, like I'll overwork. And yeah, so I was trying to find, because this is just a little bit new combination.
It's your territory.
Yeah, so I was trying to find my right balance within that as well too. So
yes. And what I would do with these for pitching, so let's say you do Tuesday, Thursday, you nurture your current people. Let's say on Wednesday, you do that random outreach, right? And just build relationships. I would pitch 2 times a week for this. I would figure out some presentations that you can do. You can switch it. You can do 20 people. You could do like Monday, Wednesday, and then pitch yourself. But think about it. If you pitch yourself to 20 organizations / clubs / groups a week, that's going to be huge for you. So freaking good.
Okay, so I think we cover as far as
your time,
marketing, and sales and planning. Yeah. And I think so I'm really, like we've talked about this, I'm really good at the connection and all that. I think it's just making that transition again from connecting to the offer, and to talk more about that, I think is as part of just continuing to get more comfortable there. So
yes. And Teresia asked if I repurposed the webinars as a freebie. Fuck yes. I did that for I think for every webinar that I'm doing now, I give it as a freebie. The annual plan one. It's been really useful. That I did in January and February and March. I'm not sure what I'm going to do as my giveaway, like a bonus if you sign up now, but people love that. So
yeah, when
and then
you did utilize that as, I'm not sure I fully followed that one. You did utilize that as a bonus, like a giveaway. And then I did remember you always had the wheel that you spun
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and stuff too. I wasn't sure how you had that wheel work, and then I was curious of what you thought. How did you like the response and all of that with that as well?
Such a good question. This is a website called Wheel of Names. You can put everyone that signs up for a webinar, and you can do that as a giveaway. And it was really, really fun. I did that with like all of my presentations. I would give away 3 coaching sessions. And if I were to go back and do it, I would call them like 3 like planning sessions. Like I wouldn't call them, it's like coaching and planning sessions. Like I would go like say like they're getting something, because like most people don't know what coaching is. Again, if you
Right.
guys want to, I would highly, highly, highly recommend that you guys coach each other live or record it on social media and record it and use it as reels, because people don't know what coaching is. Like a lot of the time, they like if more people knew what coaching was, everyone would have a coach. I think it just presents as like very similar to therapy, and therapy is when there's a problem. And from what I understand, a lot of times when I've gone to therapy, it's been like when I've had a problem. And a lot of people who want coaching might not have, like, they have a problem, but it's not like like it's like they just want to, it's like going from bad to good is a lot of times what I think about, like with therapy, and good to great is a lot of times what I see with coaching. And if they knew how, if they could see somebody going from good to great in a quick 30-minute call, they would be like, holy shit, I need this, you know? So definitely say doing that. Yeah, Jess said that she's open. So if anyone wants to do that with Jess, totally do it.
Well, Missy and I had our strategy session to be doing that. We talked about it on Monday.
Oh, yes. I'm like, this is awesome. I'm like, we definitely, like, this is exactly what we want to do. And I fucking love this. So I love this.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm so excited. I feel like this is like but how does that feel? Like, do you feel like you know what to do now? It's just 30 minutes a day to reach out, 30 minutes in the evening to respond.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Awesome.
like I said, I've been doing some of it, but I think I just need to, again, get better and better. And then, yeah, looking at it as, and then the pitching, but I have that coffee, meetup on Thursday with the guy from the library. So we were going to talk a little bit. Plus he's going to get in his master's for project management. And that's my
That's what
background.
you did. Oh my, what are the odds? So cool.
Well, he did the presentation and I connected with him before the presentation and after to tell him what a good job he did. And then and so then we scheduled this because he does some really incredible things to the library. So.
And Sharon, this is how it works. And I'm guessing the library has presenters. And you could be the next presenter at like the monthly thing at the library. We had those.
Yeah.
I love this. I'm so excited for you. This is amazing. Well, congratulations. You are crushing it. I'm so excited for you to have an Instagram now, because fun fact, I used to tag everyone in a picture of our group sessions, and it would have everyone's Instagram included. And then it would say, and Sharon. Because I didn't, it was like, and Sharon every week. So I'm excited to be able to tag you this week and have your posts up there. So love this. So excited for you. How are you feeling complete? Feeling good?
I feel good. It's good.
Awesome. And if you have other questions, feel free to reach out. Anise, did you have a question? I was like, do you have something that you wanted to add, or did you want some coaching?
I would like the thing I just sent you, the Google Doc, which
Done.
is me breaking down my pillars into webinar ideas.
Look at this, the 3 C's. I'm so proud of you. I'm like, I feel like, and you know what? It's just going to keep getting clearer and clearer every single time. Y'all, do you think we have enough tabs pulled up? Criminy. That's so funny. Well, give us a win.
Yeah, my win is, and this is all down to you and your pushing with like generation leads. So yeah, I've asked to be on a panel for a psychometric called Lumina. I don't know if they use it in America, but it's absolutely fucking amazing. And yeah, he was random. I just wrote him a little text over the weekend and said, "Oh, how you doing?" And I really love Lumina, and he wrote back saying, "I've just looked at your profile. A panelist has just dropped out. Do you want to be one?" And I was like, "Fuck, the universe works in weird places, weird ways." We had a lovely call, and yeah, I'm going to do it next into fortnight, and there'll
Oh
be
my
about 300. I know 300 people on it, and
God.
I know, but the thing about Lumina is because it's a psychometric, it's an avenue which I haven't really been able to slip slide into, which is how to get to Teams. Yeah, exactly. So the universe was definitely looking after me this week. Yeah. So that's
And it
really,
also,
really
the universe, and you took action. You took action to make it happen. You know what I
yeah.
mean? It's like, that's the biggest thing. And I just think that like getting visible on a bigger scale. And again, I've never shared, and I don't think that I kind of thought like when I need to add like a whole pitching. My goal is that by the like I'm going to do a webinar in April that will hopefully I will add to our modules because I think that the pitching element is a big deal. And literally it's all you have to do. Just write a text, just talk to people. And
Yeah.
it fucking works every time.
Yeah. And I think so. I was starting to do my marketing calendar again for the new pillars, and I thought, no, let me just do my webinars. So that's why I started breaking it down. I
Okay.
like it. I
I
really
love
like it.
it.
I've also been checking in with Harvard Business Review. I love them. So like, what do they do with their teams? What do they do with their leaders? So I've been kind of like making sure that I'm, using good material, etc. I love what you just did with
Mhm.
Sharon. That's very relatable to me. I think I'd just like you to look maybe at my concept breakdown, get
Done.
your eyeballs on it, maybe think about, is this good enough for my marketing calendar?
Absolutely. Again, the marketing calendar, I want you guys to like just think about like that is the it's a billboard. We're just putting because too and why one of the reasons why I would say it's totally fine to outsource and the first person I hired is it truly is just like putting something up so people know that you're relevant and are actually posting something. So I absolutely think it's great for your marketing. Like all of these things, like it's like how to get good at small talk. Do you want me to like I think that I can go through and I'm gonna italicize if it would be helpful, the things that I think would be that are just like very clear results that I
Please.
hear.
Please.
Yeah. So I'm gonna like this, like all of these. What do you mean by this?
Yeah. So that's like when you're giving, so when you got one-to-one, so you're giving feedback, you're taking feedback, you're dealing with, so it's not a conflict, but it's like accountability. So it's like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, yeah, oh no, and also I tell you what, it was also about the technicality of okay, so what did you just hear?
I just heard what
No,
I think.
the one-to-one. That's what I mean. Like, that, like when you're having that one-to-one,
Oh,
most
okay,
people,
okay.
right? So most people go, yeah, but I told them. And they're like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but what did they hear? Right?
And
So
it's
it's
like
about
feedback and accountability.
yeah, the account but it's the one-to-one, it was going to be like the technical thing of like active listening and then going through the technical things of, so then you summarize and then you tell them what you just heard and then you ask them what they've just heard and that sort of thing. That's what I was going to do it on.
Okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to pretend like you're explaining this to me for any of the ones I don't italicize. So, for instance, you said one-on-one clear comms, and then you were like, oh, it's all about feedback and accountability. And I'm like, perfect. Active question, asking questions and active listening. It's like how to have great one-on-one meetings.
Yeah, so maybe that's the same thing actually, but yeah.
It is the same, like this is the same thing, but this is like
yeah, sorry. Yeah.
the difference is this the it's like the feedback and accountability plan plan, methods, something like including that here. It's like, but like having something, oh, not bold, this, but it's like having a result that it's like when you come to this meeting, you're not just going to learn about one-on-one and clear comms. And this goes for your posts as well, being like, this is like the feedback and accountability method. It's tried and true and things like that. But it's like, do you see how it's like, how to speak up in a meeting? This, like, how to get good at small talk, how to have great one-on-one meetings, the fuck ups, like, and I would say like, this is like close. I would say like clear expectations, like setting, something like it's like because they fuck up with expectations, what is the negative result they're experiencing? That's what you name the post and or webinar.
So what happens is that your team don't do what you want them to do because you've expected something and they haven't done it because neither side have got a clear understanding, or they had massive expectations or assumptions and didn't talk about it. So
it's like, okay, this could be like the I was gonna say like don't make an ass out of you and me, like assumptions make an ass out of like, you know what I mean? But I'm like, but I think that's what you're saying here. It's like, and the way you could change it is like the fuck ups, expectations. Do you mind if I write on here? I was like, expectations create. Do you see how it's like this is a negative result because of it? This is so good for everyone. I want you to like look at your posts and look at your webinars. And I'm not even great at doing webinars like titles and things like that. Like I've gotten feedback that like mine aren't great. And I'm like, that's fine. But it's like just like thinking about like, and this could be like the technical style of comms. Like that could be like an educational one. But it's like thinking about like mirroring and managing emotions. I think that could be a good, like you could also do some that are like just purely teaching. Like I did one called time management, purely teaching, like something that people needed to know. Another example, I think of other ones I did.
Webinars are like I've never seen it on your website.
Oh, here I was like, yeah, check them all out.
It's amazing.
Confident. I'm trying to think about like I'm trying
These
to
are
think
all your
about,
ones, aren't they? Not the ones you do now, because that would be.
yeah, I would say that like this build a business that works was also something that was like I did this with Taryn and this is like more so educational, like where are you? But I would say like
Yeah, masterclass is quite a good word to use, isn't it? Like that's yeah, could do.
he loved it. I literally couldn't get it right to save my life. All the marketing I did for it, I think I said webinar like I think I said masterclass maybe once, and it's like sorry, I mean a webinar. I mean a masterclass. But so that's like the most important thing here. And you could do like 5 benefits from knowing the technical side of comms. You know what I mean? It's like having like something like it's like
a numerical metric.
just something that they're like blah 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 blah. Like how to mirror and manage emotions. Like
I mean I could just because they comes up again, it's more important to mirror and manage in conflict because that's when people can get heated, but it's the same in meetings, you know, if things aren't going
okay, and then to manage well. Like something like that, like mirror and manage the most. Oh, we already had the word manage to lead
you can say
powerfully.
even to be more effective, but maybe that's just too kind of too corpy.
Because I'm like just thinking about like you want to mirror and manage emotions to be a better leader. So that I think the communication one's actually really, really great. These facing the fear of conflict.
So most people, like even when I was talking to you about it, it's like, and most people you just don't want to go there, do you? It's like, oh, I've got to tell them. You know, so it's that kind of like, actually, why is it important? This for me, this was more like a masterclass. Like, what it's so crucial for your business to face that fear of conflict and recognize that healthy conflict is so vital for your business. Like if it doesn't happen, you don't get people talking about actually what's going on.
Oh, the healthy conflict growth spurt.
Perfect.
You know what I mean? Like something like something that people are gonna be like, wait, what? Like, you know what I mean? Like something like that to get people to just like, you know what I mean? The the accusation audit. Tell you about that.
So yeah, this is this is a weird thing. So you basically, as you could use this with all our partners. So when we really fucked up, or they're really cross, they're going to be really cross with you. You can go, okay, I know that I was late to the party, and I know that I said I was going to get fed before, and I know, so you preempt it. So they can't launch into you about being late, the fact there wasn't any dinner. I'm obviously being really sexist here, but so you go in there, you own it. So you go into a negotiation and say, okay, I know we said we were going to do this on time, but I know this has happened, and this. So you kind of put them on the back foot a little bit. They're like, oh, you kind of deflate that whole fire. And so the idea is you go in and your prep before a negotiation is you kind of go, what everything is going to get thrown at me.
Literally. And I love this, like, because it's like, what's it called? Like, do you see how it's like, also bye, sorry, Missy, I missed that. I just like out of the corner of my eye, I just saw that. But it was like how to own arguments in master negotiations. Like, do you see how like it's exactly what you said. This, you know what I think is happening here. I think you're talking about the process, and I want you to talk about the pillar. What are they Googling and what, or the result? I want you to, I think if you can take a look at these and do that for all of these, I think everyone like, and this is something that is a skill that is grows up over with time. But like, just think about this. Like every single thing that you're saying here, like use of voice, mirroring and empathy, why do they need that? What are they Googling that is a problem for them? Like, like
yeah, those are like steps. So like I could do that, like the 4 steps, the 4 or 3 vital things going into a negotiation.
yes.
Using the voice, and then mirror, and and teaching empathy, actually teaching.
Well, I think that like I think each of these things can still be separate.
Okay.
Yeah, I would still like, so it's like can you explain to me use of voice?
Yes. So the research says the best voice negotiation is to use, like, it's called the late night DJ voice. And you do it really, and you just keep it really calm, and you don't ever go up at the end of a sentence. You always go down. So this is what we're going to do now. So if you think about our teaching days, how we diffuse like situations in the classroom.
Yep, 100%.
Voice. So now what, and obviously this is conflict, like with hostages, but it is the sense of using a voice, using your voice so that you keep it calm and controlled, and you very mindful of intonation and use, and it's all of that. So it's intonation, it's not going upwards, leaving the opportunity for them to throw in things. It's like going down. So it's a certainty, this is what we're going to do now. We're going to do step 1. We're going to talk about this. Then we're going to talk about this, and then this. Not we're going to talk about this, because then you're leaving a question, leaving it open, wide open. They go, no, I don't want to do that. Because I really want to talk about that colleague. She's really, really annoying to me. So what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about this now. And then we will talk about your colleague that really annoyed you.
And you know what I think is really cool? The thing that you just did is when I was talking to Sharon about like the types of presentations, this one could be really I put 3 stars by it because it could be like active involvement with your people. So you could be like, it's like, okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to think about all the circumstances that could trigger you. And I'm actually going to bring you on, and I'm going to have you, I'm going to like, we're going to do role playing to like create your composed leadership presence. You see what I mean? It's like, that is like, it, I feel like this is just so fun. Now, like, it's like almost like when you would do like have a kid come up and like do something in front of the class.
Yeah.
It's like, and I think that like also then you could also, if you're trying to kind of like lean towards that, involve as like creating
rapport.
Yep. And safety for people to become more active. One of the things that I would love for you to do is talk about how leaders like show up, stand up, and speak up. That literally just came to me out of nowhere. Stand up, speak up,
Yeah.
and you lead by going first. So like lead us in this conversation, which would be really cool. But this is awesome.
Mhm.
How are you feeling about this now? Like, is it making more sense?
Yes, but what I really like about what we've just done is it's making me feel that I feel this is really valuable for me to then just throw a DM at somebody and say, and as one of my friends was saying, because I've started changing my direction, he's just like, just go and reach out to all of your old networking again and say, I've been working on this. I've just changed my direction a little bit. I've just kind of nuanced or whatever, fancy word I could do. And these
Pivoted.
I'm now offering. So if you know of anybody or you know of anyone in your team or anyone, do let, do spread my, so really gently, not saying, do you want it, which is a bit more directive. It's a bit too directive for me. And I think it will help me without those kind of things to say, these are the 3 webinars I'm offering at the moment, and just pick one of each, one of 3, and say, these are ones, do you think they'll be of any interest to you and your team? And I've got loads more if you want to come back and ask me. So I feel like it's kind of giving me that credibility and intrigue and interest, because I didn't really know how to start talking to people on LinkedIn, getting into the corporations, getting into the industries. All my network are all entrepreneurs,
Which
so
is perfect. So you can do
yeah,
collaborations with them.
yeah, that's true.
Cool.
Pivoted, that's a better word. Yeah. So that feels really good. Yeah.
So what I
Mhm.
hey friend, do they know, did you reach out to them before so they knew your offer?
You mean like all my network?
Yeah, in
Yeah.
your
I mean,
LinkedIn.
I always every LinkedIn post I always put my offer up there.
No, I think but did you personally reach out to them and be like, hi, I'm a founders coach. Hi, I'm a founders coach. Hi, I'm a founders coach.
As a DM, no,
Mhm.
no. I just chat randomly on
We don't
Twitter.
even need to say that you've been pivoting.
What changing?
They're like, yep, nope, they don't need to know. It's like,
What have I
hey,
pivoted?
I've started doing some presentations. Ooh, not the whole thing. Some presentations for some companies. Literally, like what did I say? It was something dumb, but I was like, I literally like it was so stupid easy, and I just spammed all of the humans. I think with LinkedIn you can do like 100 messages a day. With Facebook and Instagram, it's 50. But I was like, literally like you can just like copy about that. I would take it out. I wouldn't make them choose. I would choose one. That was the only piece of feedback I would give you is like,
Yeah, because then that's less work for me if they all go yes.
yep. And you can just like piece it together. We can look over it if you want. But I'm doing presentations that are really helpful for other people. And I would love to do this webinar or something like this for you and your people too. Um,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, I would just do like pick one because if
Yeah.
they have 2 options, they're already so busy, they
Mm-hmm.
might not know you. So I would do that. The other
Okay.
thing is, where did it go? Here. Um, and if you have friends, they're
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, I could totally do this. Like I was talking with her, like just as a friend, and she's like, oh, you should totally come to my biotrain class.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, sure.
Mm-hmm.
I need to reach out to Lucy. That was so sweet of her. Duke never even reached back out, but still,
Mm-hmm.
so fun. And I would message like, so it's like any like friends that you have, like all of us, like if anybody knows anybody who is in a corporation that could use Anise or Sharon and eventually Jess, and of course, like literally all of you guys can all start using each other And anyone that you get a presentation with, other people can do presentations with them.
Yeah,
Tercia, like we all can start doing this stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like your people are gonna hear you in a different way. And even if you both do a presentation on time management, you're gonna have a different flavor on it. So use each other, use your networks, and also like potentially the people that you're meeting at these networking events, they might have partners or friends that are in corporations that do presentations.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
kind of want like this to be like, this is like a big deal. I think I want to like really make this a bigger part. Like, cause it's like the outreach to like, so, and here's why. There's this thing called it's B2C, B2C. These are words I have just learned. I don't know. Do you guys know what this means?
On B2B.
B2B,
It's business to consumer. B2C
business to consumer. Okay, there we go.
So I'm doing business to B. I'm doing B2B.
Yep, and this is the one-to-one outreach, typical outreach. The B2B is business to business, and that's 1-to-1 larger positioned outreach. But I genuinely like want to almost like refilm the whole module, and like this is like where I want you guys spending your time. Because think about it, like, or like not all of your time, but like for sure some of your time here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is really good.
Really good. Really good.
Look at all of us creating momentum also. Like this is so fun. Again, thinking about like 10 years from now, we're all gonna like have these speaking engagements. We're gonna be writing books and shit, have podcasts. It's gonna be like, I feel like it's gonna be so, so fun. Sharon asked, what did you find helpful in the LinkedIn account review? I think.
Denise, yeah, what LinkedIn account review? What, the one that person sent back to me? Sharon?
Yes. Did you find anything helpful? I was just curious that you
So
wanted to share with us.
someone reviewed
Wait,
my
what
LinkedIn.
is this LinkedIn account review?
Yeah, so someone reviewed my account and
Oh,
what
fun.
yeah, so what she said is the banner. So if you think about people scrolling, she says the banner needs to be immediate. It says always about them. So what is it that you solve? So it's never about you. What do you solve immediately? So it's nothing like you haven't told us already, Megan, but it's more about just on the LinkedIn. So the banner up here is, why should you, as a consumer, as the person scrolling, stop? Like you should be able to spot yourself in the banner.
Mm.
Oh my God, I like mine's confused leader or confused or whatever. I can't remember what I'm saying. Not being, I don't know what I've got in my banner, but oh, that's me. Oh, let me just look at her. And then the writing under your name, where you've got Megan Wing founder, it should be, who do you help? Like you've got helping entrepreneurs, right? So that's it. Immediately have that.
Mm.
Again, not about you. Who do you help?
Switching this over. Okay, cool.
And then the next bit, so what she then told me is featured should be, yeah, exactly what you've got there. I had loads of my articles from my newsletter. She could scrap all that. And then the bit about who you are, not your post. Where's the bit about? So it's going to move about. That's going to move up to the top. So she says on that, not about you. What do you do? What's the impact you're making? Really, really punchy. So basically your PSPR thing that you already
Yes, yes.
And then she said from there, so they start there and then then they want to go into your website, it should be like a follow through. So when they go onto the website, it's exactly the same.
Okay, cool. Because I think that like, yeah, it's like I could literally like take the whatever you have as your copy for this.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, if you notice, so mine now, I've got my LinkedIn and my Instagram and my website. They all say the same thing. Exactly that. And I've got all this like a very punchy kind of like with, and I'm not saying it's amazing at all, but I've just gone and done the whole the same. Yeah, but
Yeah.
with like emojis and, you know.
You said no emojis?
No, with I've done emojis because I think actually that's yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
There we go. You learn something new every day.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but she kept coming back to me and saying, I still don't know who you're talking
No,
to.
this is the wrong day. It's okay. It's fine. Because like I just looked at it, I was like, that's good to know though. Like, and the other thing is like, so for you guys, so the whole purpose, Sharon, of the Facebook group, I made it after the LinkedIn group that I have. The way that it works is everyone in this group of people in LinkedIn, this is Olivia Vizacro's idea, but we all post our pictures on here and we all go on there and we like and comment for each other. So that's like, yeah, like right here. So that's me. So that was the goal of the
your
Instagram group. There was, and I don't know how you can't search on here, but we had like a Facebook group, or not a Facebook group.
We do.
It was somewhere.
It was 6.
Can somebody find it and like
It
send
was 6 systems mastermind. I can send it.
Yeah, just post in there and be like,
I don't have as many.
see, we clearly have not, but like also look, okay, so right here, these are all the people that they've talked to in a week. Like, I want your page to look like that too. Have just like a fuck ton of humans in your DMs. Get to know them. Here it is. Okay.
I'm actually just adding.
Did you?
I just added her to the group.
Yay.
There you go. So when you go on next time, you should have.
Boom. So what we've been doing in that group is like this, take this and send it into here, just the post itself. You guys, like, we should totally get this going again. I think it'd be really helpful. It is just purely to get more comments and views on yours. So liking it and then writing a sentence that has, again, 3 words. That's what I was telling you, Sharon, on your page, just writing 3 words as the response. If somebody likes something I do, like she said, love this, and I said, I love you. 3 words gets more views. So it's the exact same thing we do with LinkedIn. You guys can definitely start that as well. And we just post all of our stuff on here. And you guys can do that with LinkedIn too. I just suck at being on LinkedIn. It's like a new social media. But this is something that like was reposted in here. And say, you know it. There. Yeah, like so just saying, you know it. Actually that sounds kind of conceited. Thank you so much, friend.
We're watching you do your LinkedIn posts.
Yeah. Boom. Like that's it. Like I just want to show you how simple it is. Like, look, boom, done. It's responding.
I had a really good coaching call about LinkedIn, not this review person, but I had it with a coach on Friday, and I was just saying, I'm losing energy every time I go into LinkedIn. I keep putting it off on my diary. And we got to the point where, one, I changed it in my day. So it's not in the morning, it's in the afternoon because different energy.
Mm-hmm.
But also it was about looking at what motivates me. So I go on it and I'm like, oh, bleh. And for me, I had to get in touch with the intention of, I love these people. Let me show my love through the chit chat. You know, it might take a while to get really nice sentences out, but it's that sense of just, this is another way of connecting. But if you always think it's going to be really hard work and I keep putting it off, then you just don't get it. But if you go in and like intention, love, connect, and like this guy who reached out and said, come be a panelist. I mean, it was like 2 DMs together. And suddenly we're
Literally,
like,
it doesn't even take that long.
It doesn't. Yeah. And I think I'm with Sharon. I think LinkedIn for me is a better place than Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Instagram isn't, but but then I have to look at my reels. So I just have to look at how I market on LinkedIn, but that's fine. But it is about the intention at which you approach this lead generation thing. And that's a big thing for me.
It just makes it so much easier when you're like, I'm going to help somebody with this today. It's like, what could they use? And it helps with marketing too. When you're like, instead of being like, oh, I have to write a post, being like, what do they need help with today that I could totally help them with right now? Like, I can totally help somebody solve a problem right now with this post. The more you can get into that, the better it's going to be. Just so awesome.
Yeah.
And you guys are so awesome. I just love you all so freaking much. This is such a good call. I'm posting all these links in the classroom, just posted them. If you guys have any and all questions, feel free to bring up. We got through like a lot of things today, and I promise I will get the April 10th like group ready to rally so that we are.
Have you because I think I asked you, I couldn't see the replay from last week. Because because I've missed the last 3, I was trying to catch up. The video wasn't there.
Posted it.
Okay, that's all right.
Excellent. It's not there. I will post it.
That's fine. Thank you. Next week, we're in British summertime next week, so I will be here at the beginning of the call.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah. And I love you guys all so much. I'm posting and I will find the copy for that. But thank you. And I will see you guys so soon.
Bye.
All right. Bye, everybody.